Good evening, everyone. This is Mitch. Hope you all are having a great evening. Hope you all are staying safe out there, especially in areas in northeast Florida right now. There is still a tornado warning right now on radar. It doesn't look as distinct, but there was a confirmed tornado that touched down here just south of Jacksonville in the city limits. I'm seeing pictures all over the place and videos. Not really videos, but a lot of pictures of actual tornado damage. So this is a confirmed tornado that dropped down just south of Jacksonville. And this is going to be the ongoing issue all night into Georgia and then to South Carolina, especially as we get deeper into the night. So this is what we're breaking down, guys. Basically, this is what is left of Tropical Storm. And I say what is left, but it's still looking pretty good, even though it's over land. The center of the storm is right around this area. It's turning away. If you don't know where we are, the center of the storm has crossed the Florida-Georgia line, and here we are up in South Carolina and North Carolina, and this is going to continue to push this way. So here's South Carolina up here, and what we have to worry about is right in here. These are what you call, and they're called different things. You can call outer bands, but you call them feeder bands. So basically, and this is basically the east or northeast quadrant of the storm. It's the most dangerous side of the storm. That's why they call these. They call this the dirty side of the storm, because a lot of times this is when you have quick spin ups. It's normally not long lasting tornadoes, but even when these tropical systems are dying out over land, there is definitely a chance for a tornado. And this is going to work into Georgia, more into Georgia, and more into South Carolina overnight, and into North Carolina more later tomorrow. So this is what we got to worry about overnight. A tornado threat in the middle of the night. It's going to be quick spin-ups. So we're going to break this down and kind of talk about where this thing is going. But right now, this is what the radar looks like on Tropical Storm Elsa. By the way, this is still, at the latest 5 p.m. update, is a 45-mile-per-hour storm. This is what it looks like right about now. Also, if you guys have not subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button. I try to upload content every single day to keep y'all updated. So thank y'all for the amazing support over the last several weeks. It's much appreciated. I am literally exhausted. I think I traveled 20 hours. I think I was driving 20 hours in a 22-hour period when I shot all the way down to Tampa Bay yesterday at about 2 p.m. Got there just before around 10, 11 p.m. Hung out around there for a few hours and went all the way back up north. Took a break, slept at a rest stop for a couple hours, and then went back to Columbia. And I've been back in Columbia since about noon or 12:30 or so. So very, very exhausting. Got a little bit of footage, but overall the trip was kind of a dud. But thankfully, it wasn't too bad. So this is it right now. It's continuing to move north. We're going to be dealing with this all night. This is Elsa. It's a 45-mile-per-hour storm. The big issue right now is there's a tornado watch for this whole southeast area, far southeast area of Georgia. This is a concerning tornado watch. There's a mesoscale discussion on it, and basically convective rain bands, feeder bands, and then up on the northern end of the storm there could be discrete rotating storms. These are dangerous, guys. They're dangerous really because you're not going to see them. They're all rain wrapped, so it's always going to be a dangerous situation here. So we need to watch out for this for sure. So really in this video, what we're going to really focus on is the HRRR model. It's just a model we're going to look at. We can look at the NAM, we can look at all these, we can look at a bunch of things, but we're really just going to focus on the HRRR model for now. So what we got going on as we get later tonight, we're getting into about 8, 9 p.m. What's left of the storm is pretty much, besides some leftover southeast feeder bands flooding through Jacksonville and places like that. So there's going to be an ongoing tornado threat still down there late into the night. But a big chunk of the storm is beginning to move into South Carolina. The thing that I want to watch is to see if this actually can strengthen a little bit, get enhanced. But right now, the cone of uncertainty has this thing as a depression as it's getting into South Carolina. But you can check out the little center just south of Augusta and look at Columbia. I think Columbia is going to be just north of where the center passes. So the center is going to go just south of Columbia. So I think now, obviously we don't know for certain, but I think from Augusta to Columbia, the Charlotte points northwest, I think the tornado threat is going to be much lower for you guys just because you're not technically on this east side of the storm. Now there still is going to be a small tornado threat for sure. So the main threat with this, really, And as this is moving through, this is basically before the sun comes up. So this is late tonight into the early morning hours. This is 10Z, so this is probably around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. The brunt of this storm is in South Carolina when most people are still asleep. So this is the dangerous part of it. You see this the whole entire half of South Carolina. Let's get a little bit closer look at South Carolina. Whole entire half of South Carolina is eastern half of South Carolina is getting hit with heavy rain, potentially flooding rain, and some quick spin ups. So this is a dangerous situation. We're getting right around to about where the sun's coming up, and Florence, South Carolina is getting the brunt of it. Columbia, you're probably going to wake up and head to work tomorrow here in Columbia with probably some gusty, breezy conditions just because you're going to be right near the center of circulation. You're going to act, Columbia potentially has actually the chance to be in what's left of the eye wall, if you will, of a weak tropical storm or depression. So it's probably going to be pretty breezy when you're getting up in the morning. But I think a tornado threat in Columbia is pretty low, but I think there still is a chance. But look at these bands coming into Myrtle Beach. These are the dangerous bands right here. As we're moving forward, you have to watch places like Myrtle Beach and Wilmington, getting into the Newport, and even into Outer Banks, and even more inland, like towards Fayetteville, as you're getting into the late morning, early afternoon hours tomorrow. And then the brunt of the storm is getting into eastern North Carolina, where there is tropical storm watches pretty deep into eastern North Carolina, and the tropical storm watches in the coastal areas of South Carolina. And this is moving through and moves pretty due northwest. So, you know, I thought that the Midwest probably wouldn't be affected by this much. But if you live in southeast Virginia and up into Maryland and Delaware, Maryland as in the far eastern areas of Maryland, you need to watch out with this because this storm could actually begin to enhance as it's moving forward. And check it out. It's hitting southeast Virginia pretty hard. And look at the little feeder bands. So Norfolk, tornado threat as you're getting into late tomorrow. So you need to pay attention to this. You know, I know the storm looks like it's falling apart, but it's still dangerous. And this is where the National Hurricane Center actually thinks it could start to re-strengthen. It's right around the southeast Virginia area, Maryland area, Delaware area, into New Jersey. They think that this might get enhanced a little bit and strengthened. But we look kind of like the New York City area. And check it out. You know, there's going to be some nasty weather even into New York City and New Jersey, Philadelphia. But this is starting to get into early morning hours, Friday morning. So we're getting into a couple days out now. You can even look at Boston. Boston even gets affected by this tropical system. So this thing has actually trended a lot more west. It wasn't supposed to hit all these people. As far as rain totals, we're going to go off the National Weather Service's rain totals here. A few inches of rain is definitely expected. They even got 2.2 inches of rain here in Columbia. Same thing in Augusta. Down here near Orangeburg, around 3 inches of rain. So the thing is, you know, that's not a ton of rain, but it's going to fall pretty fast. So that's why there's going to be a chance of flash flooding. That's why there's a risk of flash flooding in this area. That's why flooding is still a dangerous situation. We move a little bit forward. Farther north here, and you can tell where the tropical system is when this little thin line of heavy rain. A lot of this other stuff is just from disturbances that has nothing to do with Elsa. So definitely is a dangerous situation potentially overnight. And check out the potential wind gusts. We're going to look at the HRRR model run as we're getting into the overnight hours. And check it out. It's pretty breezy in the entire southwest area of Georgia. Very breezy. You can actually, you know, tell where the center of the storm is. Those oranges and things like that, that's potential wind gust inside those feeder bands of 30 to 40, potentially even 50 miles per hour as we're getting into daybreak around eastern South Carolina. So places like Florence, you're going to wake up to some nasty weather, I think, tomorrow. You know, up to Orangeburg, up to Florence, very nasty. And then it gets moved, the nasty weather moves into places like Fayetteville, even up to Raleigh, definitely Myrtle Beach, into Wilmington, and the entire eastern half of North Carolina is going to have probably a tornado threat tomorrow as this moves through. You see these deep colors of the oranges and reds. That's potential 40 to 50 mile per hour gust as we're getting into tomorrow evening into North Carolina and Virginia. We go a little further up the coast, a little further up north, and this is when it starts to enhance. So if this comes true, the tips up to Delaware and Maryland and near the Chesapeake Bay area could really have some nasty winds just north of Norfolk as we're getting into late tomorrow night. And then it has a chance to strengthen as it starts to get off the coast of the Northeast, typically where nor'easters like to explode off the coast of New Jersey and places like that. There's going to be some nasty weather out there. I definitely don't want to be a boat out in that water. So, it's an ongoing situation. Let's see if they've dropped the tornado warning around Jacksonville. They have. So they've dropped the tornado warning, but like I said, in Jacksonville in the beginning of the video, there was a confirmed tornado, and it's right in these dangerous feeder bands right here. So this is going to be ongoing all night. So in the short term, if you're in southeast Georgia, be very weather aware of the next few hours. And then as we get a little bit later in the night, definitely into South Carolina. This is going to occur overnight when a lot of people are sleeping. And a quick spin up can destroy, smaller houses, especially mobile homes and things like that. So have everything held down tonight, especially if you're in areas in the eastern areas of basically the entire southeast. The southeast states like Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, have everything tied down. It's going to be breezy. So thank you all for tuning in. And, this may be the last video I do on Elsa, so I do want to say thank you all for trusting my forecast and allowing me to talk weather with you guys. And thank you for the incredible support. And as we get deeper into Hurricane Center, I look forward to interacting with the weather with you guys. So thank you all for everything, and y'all stay safe. And this just might be a night where you want to set an alarm clock every hour or so just to check the radar if you're in these areas. So thank you all for tuning in. Y'all have a safe night.